And we are back once again with Slime Isekai Memories. Today we are here doing a brand new little story thing. Now, I can't remember exactly what these are called, but these are basically just all cutscenes, except for the last one. Usually the last one's a battle with the character in question. So today we are doing Interview with Jaune. So the yellow primordial demon. We've already done one with Diablo, and we've done one with Violet. So third one. Original author scenario series, part 5. Oh yeah, I think we also did one with Veldora, and I can't remember who's the fourth one. But it's fully voiced. Interesting. Interview with Jaune, part 1. Hey there, Rain. You want to interview me? Well, I've got to say, you've chosen the best person to interview. Oh yeah, okay. Man, I forgot in my other video, I forgot that there were 7 primordial demons. The other 2 was Rain and Misery, which are both Geese, like servants. So yeah, that is 7. To that one commenter that, like, told me that there was 7. Correct. I only thought there was 5. What are you so upset about? You're upset that I called you by your name? Are you mocking me for not having a name? Rain is mad that Jaune is calling her by her name, when I guess Jaune doesn't have a name, even though it's like she has a title or whatever Jaune is supposed to represent. And so I guess Rain is thinking that she's making fun of her name? No, I bet you just wanted to boast. You've always been like that. If you're trying to pick a fight with me, then sure, bring it on. But I'm going to go all out on you. Oh, okay. Alright, let's leave it at that. You had some questions for me, right? Let's see. Why do I get destructive? That's easy. Simply put, I got bored of playing games with that two-faced purple and that cunning white. Obviously, it's not like I've given up on being incarnated, but I'm just taking a little break. You see, there was a certain incident that wore me out. Ah, so you heard about it from Violet, and you want to hear more about it, huh? Very well, I'll tell you. I guess it was about 100 years ago. I succeeded in creating a powerful body, but it was destroyed. I worked really hard on it, so it was pretty devastating to lose it all, just as I was almost able to incarnate too. And thanks to that incident, I lost all motivation. From then on, I just didn't feel like competing with either Blanc or Violet. Or Blanc. I still don't know how to say her name. Alright, I looked it up just to make sure, so it's Blanc. That's all I have to say about it. Huh? Too short, you say. Gosh, you're as selfish as ever, aren't you? Huh? Want to know what that body was like? Also, I just want to get a good look. I really do love her outfit. Like, it doesn't seem like something that should be in the slime world, because it seems so modern. Like, the fashion sense. Most of the people in the slime world are having medieval clothing, and then here she is with I don't even know how I would describe this, but it kind of gives me 2000 vibes. Kind of like she's going to the club. Like, the only thing that's medieval-ish you can call is, like, basically her shirt that she's wearing. Yeah, I have no idea what they call it, but that's the only thing that's medieval-ish looking. Everything else is pretty modern. Like the jeans, the jacket. God, I love that fur jacket that she has. Or fur cape. I think the jacket is just regular. Sheesh. What a pain. Alright, fine. I'll elaborate a little more then. You see, the plan came from a little idea that I had. Usually, I negotiate with humans in order to produce a body that's worthy of me. But you see, it's actually a lot more difficult than you might imagine. The first problem I had was that most people couldn't withstand my magic powers. Humans would get crushed in a matter of seconds, so it's better not to incarnate into them. Seriously, even a champion couldn't last more than 3 days. I suppose they'd last a lot longer if I never fought. But that defeats the purpose of a vessel, right? That's why it's essential that I find someone who's the same wavelength as me in terms of magic, but at the same time, someone who also possesses a strong heart and a sound body. But the problem with such people is that they have a strong resistance to magic. So, in order for me to incarnate, I need to modify the vessel's soul to match mine. But this proved to be quite difficult. Blanc even went out of her way to carefully breed her vessel over several generations. Damn, these demons are doing a lot for these vessels. We all know what happened to that plan, right? It's no wonder she's having such a huge fit. And since she failed on her own accord, there was no real need for me to interfere with her plans. Not that I had any idea what she was actually up to anyway. I figured she was up to something, but that's all I knew. In fact, I was this close to losing. I ought to thank the Empire for their diligence. Even Violet was sowing the seeds of disaster everywhere, trying to find a match that she could incarnate into. The reason she's never found success isn't entirely due to us always getting in her way. Even for us primordials, creating a vessel that's worthy of us to incarnate into is no easy matter. It takes a lot of time and preparation. And when it requires so much time, naturally, various factors get in the way of its completion. That's why it's hard to create the perfect body, even when we don't get in each other's way. But you could say that's exactly what made this competition so much fun. Ah, I'm getting sidetracked. Okay, let me tell you about my idea. Remember, you're trying to turn a human into a vessel, and it takes a long time to find a soul that will be compatible with you. So guess what I came up with? I thought to myself, if there was a vessel that had no soul, then it would take next to no time to incarnate. Little did I care if that was even possible or not. So, I mentioned that without really thinking, and a certain someone took my words to heart. Yeah, you know who. The oldest of my subordinates. He only ever acts on his own interests, so he usually stays in the background. And yet, he was weirdly enthusiastic about the whole thing, even taking full command of the operation. I found it strange, but I let him do things his way. After all, there's not much to do in the demon world, so it's best to let everyone do their own thing. Besides, since he was doing it for me, I had no reason to stop him. But it sure did cause a panic among my minions when they found out that a confidant of mine was in charge of the operation. Well, that's weird. Like, I mean, if they're all her minions, why are they questioning if one of her higher-up subordinates is taking control of an operation? I mean, unless this guy's a loose cannon, which could potentially get a lot of them killed by him being in leadership, then I kind of understand the panic. I guess you could say it was an operation of epic proportions. They were desperate for recognition, so they mobilized on a scale never seen before. It became the largest operation ever to make its way into the material world. The rules forbade me from joining them, but boy, did I wish I could participate. And thus, the great operation began. Alright, interview with Jaune Part 2. Also, I'm just wondering, is this in another OVA, or is this strictly light novel material? Because if this actually is an OVA, I think I really want to check that out, or maybe need to read about this. Because if this is a big event, I kind of want to read about it. It goes without saying, if we don't incarnate, we can't move freely for very long. If I tried to sustain my body myself, I probably would only last 5 minutes or so. On the other hand, the weaker demons have hardly any magicules, so they can move around longer than me. It depends on the individual, but at a guess, they can last around 10 minutes. In other words, just because they can go into the material world, that doesn't mean they can be of use immediately. As you know, we need to find a human who's filled with desire and make a deal with them. That's why sending in a huge army doesn't really have any immediate benefits. But, to my surprise, the operation was going smoothly. Now normally, we don't negotiate with humans, even if they're the ones who contact us. However, there's nothing stopping us from contacting them. That's how some of my direct subordinates and other minions successfully manipulated humans into becoming their vessels. Once incarnated, they went and infiltrated Sarion's research facility to steal information. Sarion. I don't know if that's a new character, or if that's a character that we've been introduced already, or a future character that hasn't been introduced in the anime, or been cut out of the anime. Yeah, that's right. The Sorcerer's Dynasty, Sarion. They thought in order to create a vessel suitable enough for me, it would be best to gather intel from a technological, advanced nation. Pretty smart, right? Even my subordinates can be clever once in a blue moon. And then one day, I heard about something that would become the basis of my entire operation. You see, back then, there was a researcher who was putting his life on the line to create an artificial human. When my minions heard about it, they thought it'd be useful for our operation. We happily shared our knowledge with him, and together we completed his research. And I'm guessing they betrayed and killed him, and stole the research, instead of letting him live and do his own thing. But there was only one tiny problem. This soulless artificial human, which I wanted to serve as my vessel, only had as much physical strength as normal humans. Looking back at it now, it was pretty obvious. After all, we were using human cells to cultivate this artificial being. What we ended up with was a vessel that couldn't withstand being incarnated by the operations commander, let alone me. It was obvious that it wasn't going to work, so we had to update our plans. We had the right idea, so now it was a matter of how to strain this artificial human. What we needed was a material that was compatible with Magicals and could withstand a high dose of magical power. So, we started searching everywhere for just the right material. Something that would work with an artificial human. I'm trying to think, does she come to the same conclusion as like Rimuru in getting that special metal that he gave to Beretta to make her body? The first thing that caught our attention was the synthetic beast that the kingdom of Ingressia was secretly developing. But we quickly scrapped that idea. Sure, they seemed like the right material for making powerful bodies, but they were seriously lacking in the looks department. I'm kind of confused a little bit. Don't when they incarnate, they basically take their normal look? And plus, I don't know if she even looks at most demons, but most demons look ugly when they show their true form. Only the primordial demons look half decent. Well, I mean some of the subordinates look pretty good as well. But can't they just, like, create the look while using the cells or whatever materials from the creatures to shape the face, the body, and all of that? And then boom, they have their perfect look. We tried to fuse the cells of the synthetic beast with the artificial human, but that turned out to be a nightmare. Seriously, it was the ugliest monster ever conceived. Man, I need to see this. This sounds like a hilarious miniseries or spin-off episodes. Confidant got so upset with the results that he almost killed one of my minions who brought the prototype to him. You could say that it got an A for strength, but an F for looks. After all, if it's a body that I'm going to inhabit, it had better be perfect. There can't be any room for improvement. Even if the prototype can't be perfect, it would have to score at least 90%. I'm not asking for too much. I know my worth, and I'm simply not going to accept any compromises. My confidant and other minions knew all too well that would be the case, so they continued on with their research. I imposed even stricter conditions for my vessel and ordered everyone to work harder to find me the perfect match. Like, damn. When you compare Diablo to every other demon, I guess you can kind of see how he's the best one. Actually, yeah, I mean, Rain and Misery don't really have a personality as much as we've seen in the anime, so they could be, like, better, but Diablo being obsessed with Rimuru is at least his little quirky trait. Aside from that, he just mostly seems suave and everything. Guy is pretty chill as long as you give him respect as the demon lord that he is, / primordial demon. He doesn't seem like he'll randomly kill you for fun. Jaune and Violet both are kind of on a power trip, being the strongest demons of their factions. And so with no one to tell them what to do, or at least compete with them, they boss around all their minions very unfairly. and put strict deadlines and goals for them. So, I don't know about Blanc, but maybe she's better, maybe she's worse, who knows? But yeah, if I would have to say, I would probably say Jaune is a little worse than Violet. Because Violet at least has mostly a, like, free spirit of doing whatever she wants. Like, she seems a bit more chill, except when you disappoint her. Then she kills you. Eventually, we found an artifact left over by a Chaos Dragon. When we found it, one of my minions suggested that it must have some ridiculous magical resistance, since it had been contaminated by the Demon Lord Milim. Wait, Chaos Dragon? So, is this the dragon from Milim's backstory? Like, I forget exactly when they mentioned this, but I think Guy or Ramirez mentioned this story. No. Actually, it was the elf princess that mentioned this story on Milim's backstory. That it's like Milim once had a dragon friend and they lived together for many years. Then the kingdom, like, killed her dragon and somebody resurrected it. And I think it may have came back as either an undead dragon or a chaos dragon. And so I think this is what she's referring to. I could be wrong, but that's the only thing I can think about. Contaminated by Demon Lord Milim. Yeah, that's the only one that I can imagine that Milim's been around. I don't remember if she had to fight it, or if it just has magicules from her being around it. It sounded pretty convincing, so I had them form a search party in order to secure the material. A lot went down with that party, but I'll skip that part for you. I want to hear that! That sounds interesting! Huh? You want to hear that part? Come on now. There's not much to say other than that we secured the material. I feel like a big battle had to go down. I'm still wanting to hear. Fine then. Alright. I'll tell you all about it then. So, among my subordinates, there's this sword demon guy. He specializes in swordsmanship rather than magic, even though he's a demon. This guy went to look for the Chaos Dragon's artifact without even incarnating himself. Normally, if you use magic without incarnating, you have less time to spare in the material world. Makes sense, right? So I'm guessing he lasts longer because he doesn't use magic for attacks. He just uses his swordsmanship. But this sword demon preserves his magic power in his body, and instead fights with a single sword. So, basically, he can be active for a lot longer than other demons. He could stay and fight for an entire day, which is probably a record-breaking trait. Anyway, that wouldn't matter if he incarnated, but he amused me nonetheless. Oh, I just remembered something. Back then, this sword demon was considered a bit of an eccentric and wasn't really respected. They thought that he must be weak since he didn't use any magic. But in fact, the sword demon turned out to be one of my strongest subordinates. When we reached the land where the Chaos Dragon slept, our camp was raided by the humans. I guess it wasn't good that we wreaked havoc in Ingressia. You know how my minions tend to solve problems through brute force, yeah? I've never been any good at keeping things under the radar, so almost immediately the humans sensed that our camp was up to no good. And this resulted in a pretty intense battle. It was then that the sword demon, who'd been keeping a low profile, turned it into a real bloodfest. Even without any magic, he showed that he was more powerful than even an elite demon. Honestly, I was really surprised. It definitely changed my perspective on things. Maybe we've been underestimating the power of physical attacks. But anyway, thanks to him, we won and acquired the Chaos Dragon's artifact. And because of his outstanding performance that day, I chose him as one of my closest aides. He totally deserved it, since he accomplished so much even without incarnating, right? Anyway, we were able to get the Chaos Dragon artifact, so our research in Sarion was able to move into the next phase. By the way, the artifact was a fragment of the remains of the elemental dragon that died and became a Chaos Dragon. So yeah, this totally was Milim's pet dragon, or the one that she had as her closest friend. I'm sure you heard about it. It's a pretty well-known story. You see, the elemental dragon was already like a natural enemy to us, and when it died, it scattered its remains and basically gave birth to the dragon race. Dragons did exist before that, but only a handful could cast magic. That's why I think it's safe to call him the father of dragons. I'm trying to remember. Or is this Milim's father? Because I remember him dying, and I don't know if, like, he created the 4 storm dragons, or if he died, and then he created the 4 storm dragons and every other dragon. I gotta catch up on my slime lore. Well, perhaps that's debatable, but it's not an important part of my story. What's important is that the Chaos Dragon's remains contained the dragon factor. We thought that by adapting it to the artificial humans, we would be able to create a powerful body that can even withstand attacks from spirits, our arch enemies. If I were able to incarnate into it, I'd be able to reign supreme, as it would help me overcome my weakness. If I were able to incarnate into it, I'd be able to reign supreme, as it would help me overcome my weakness. However, things didn't go all that smoothly. Interview with Jaune, Part 3. The plan had been going well up until then, but that's when it all started to fall apart. Yeah, so, as you know, the plan failed. Since you already know what happened, I'll try to keep it short, and just talk facts. So yeah, Demon Lord Leon got in the way. I don't know how he found out about it, but after all the effort, Leon turned my vessel into dust. He's been a Demon Lord for so long now, and yet he still acts like a hero. I have no idea what was on his mind, but he took down my minions and ruined my plans. I was in utter disbelief. After all, my vessel was ready to be used. Its compatibility was perfect, and all I had to do was incarnate into it. I was only one step away from achieving my goal. And yet... Huh? What did he say? No, I swear, I heard you say something about Violet. Oh, did Violet mention it to Leon, and that's how he figured out about it? Rain and Misery would be able to hear about it from Leon himself, probably through a meeting with Guy, since Guy and Leon are, like, seemingly pretty close. Guy and Leon could probably be considered friends, and so during one of the meetings they would have heard him talking about his plans and how he destroyed Jaune's base or something like that. Him just telling Guy about his other run-ins with other primordial demons. Why are you avoiding eye contact? Maybe you know something about why Leon was trying to interfere with me. If you think I'm just imagining things, then don't mention anything that's suggestive. You really, really don't know. Okay, fine then. Let's get back to my story. So, as it turned out, the plan failed because of Leon. And on top of that, the Emperor of Serion found out about it and ended up destroying all the data I accumulated in the lab. Thanks to that, the whole plan got scrapped. If only we could retrieve the lost data, we might be able to recreate the vessel again. But you know what? I got bored of it. After all, where's the fun in succeeding on the second try? I am in disbelief because of these demons. It's like, okay, we tried this one time. They did try multiple times with this plan, because they made the artificial humans, then they tried the beast artificial humans, and now with the third attempt kind of being ruins and so close to it, they're like, nah, that'd be boring if we try again, even though we know it'll succeed. I'd rather be taking on new challenges, so naturally, I quickly got over the fact that the research lab got shut down. And now, I've lost all my enthusiasm for incarnation. Yeah, I'm simply not motivated anymore. I was this close to winning the game that all three of us spent so long on. I guess it was just a huge disappointment. But you don't have to feel bad about me. I've already found a new hobby. I feel like this sentence is a little weird, but you don't have to feel bad about me. Shouldn't it be, but you don't have to feel bad for me? Like, that seems that would be more appropriate. I don't know. Like, Rain feeling bad that it's like, ooh, you were so close, but so far. Wanna know what it is? Damn. This picture is badass. Yeah, she does kind of give, like, goth vibes. That's kind of what I get from Jaune. I'm just looking around at the entire picture. So I'm guessing this is the demon world. We kind of got a bit of it by seeing the movie. In the movie interpretation, it was kind of a desert with, like, Roman or, like, destroyed structures in it. And this kind of does match with that aesthetic a little bit. I'm not seeing, like, a desert there. It looks more like a dark realm. But yeah, she's on a throne. It looks like a pretty normal throne. And she has, like, 3 giant skulls just where she can relax her feet, and that dark energy attack has some pretty cool lighting. Here, I'll show you. I'm trying to see how powerful I can charge my nuclear magic before I blast it. I increase my magic power to the max and unleash the deadliest shot possible. It's the best feeling ever! It's so refreshing, like all your worries disappearing in an instant. Oh yeah, weren't you the one who took Leon to that place? What does that mean? Took Leon to like the demon world? Yeah, I remember now. You were the one who showed me that game, telling me that I could rid myself of my grudge against Demon Lord Leon. Thanks to you, I've been keeping myself busy. I started doing it just to annoy Leon, but now it's become a daily routine that makes me feel better. You see that over there? That nation that Demon Lord Leon created? You see that barrier that protects it? Yeah? Okay, was this part of the OVA? Hold on. Because this looks exactly like the last 2 pictures from like the Predator battle. Like that area. And plus she was firing off shots, which I think it was the nuclear magic. So this could potentially connect to that. Yeah, that's the one. All those dozens of geometric patterns stacked up on top of each other. Okay, let me show you how I do it. Alright then, since you're watching, I might as well unveil my brand new magic. So yeah, this is basically that stinger or the end of the OVA. Because this is what we saw in the Predator battle. And then she fires it off and it's a big explosion. It's called Nuclear Magic, Piercing Resentment. And it's a magic that's designed to penetrate barriers. I'm trying to inflict my Abyss Core on his country. That's right. When my Abyss Core goes through the barrier, the flames of destruction will spread death across his domain. Yeah, I just wanted to just let that go by, but yeah, this is basically just the OVA ending, those like 3 slides, however many we saw. Ah ha ha ha! It worked! My piercing resentment seems to have successfully penetrated the barrier. Ah ha ha! Look at all those fools! They're panicking for a change. What a laugh! It seems like the people living there are pretty thick-skinned, just like their master. Seriously, they treat my attacks like they're a daily occurrence now. Since little explosions no longer faze them, I've been giving them a variety of attacks. Well, it worked out well today. If there was an actual Abyss Core, they'd all be dead now. Why didn't I blast the real one? Well, because it would be meaningless if I killed my audience. So wait, was that a simulation or an illusion of one that she created? And then she showed like what would happen if her attack attacked the real barrier and how much death and destruction it would cause. Or did she throw like a tiny attack just to rattle off the kingdom? Kind of like someone like shaking up ant colony or whatever you call it. Whenever crazy people have like ants as pets. Something like that, just to stir up the country/city. After all, I'm only trying to annoy Leon. They may think I'm seriously trying to kill them, but the joke's on them. Anyway, it worked out pretty well today. He'll probably put up a new barrier that are impenetrable, so I'll have to think of a different approach for tomorrow. I guess you could call it a friendly rivalry. Don't you think it's pretty cool? As I just showed you, I get to measure my growth. After all, even if it's only practice, you'll get more out of it if the audience gives you a reaction. Sure, you can practice magic in our realms, and I understand why you think we should train in secrecy, but... well, we can agree to disagree. I don't need you to see what I see. Okay, I think that's all I've got time for. How should I prank them tomorrow? Oh, I can't wait. Anyway, I'm pretty busy, so I'm gonna have to excuse myself now. Alright. I mean, that was pretty quick. I forgot how long Violet was or some of the other ones, but I felt like theirs was like 4, maybe 5, maybe it was 3 as well. But yeah, we gotta do Earth, I think physical. Also, my phone's going a little slow. Earth physical. I guess this should be fine. Okay, so it means we do get the preview of what she does. We have to survive 3 rounds. I highly doubt she'll be that hard. Oh, I have auto on. Okay, her audio is weirdly loud. I hope we can see her super attack. Or secret skill, whatever. Alright, so yeah, she's gonna bring it out on us. Damn, she has that insane look on her eyes. Full blast Jaune. Damn, you know that's some narcissism when she names her attack after her. Full blast Jaune. I thought it was gonna be the attack, Nuclear Blast, Full Resentment, but I guess not. Alright, well, I would say that's basically the end of the event. That was interesting to say the least. I enjoyed her story, although I would have really loved to see that animated. Like, if that would get its own OVA/spin-off miniseries, that would be cool to see. I would want to see the Demon Swordsman, her other minion, the one that's like her longest lasting one, and then seeing her rivalry with Leon, since apparently she's his arch enemy now, since he ruined her like plan to be incarnated. But yeah, I'm enjoying like all these primordial demons, and seeing all these interviews. I guess now we need one for Blanc and see her like backstory or an adventure with her to get to know her a little bit more. Also, I still wonder if she'll be like the 4th banner for this celebration, because I've seen some theories of people saying that she might not get a unit. You know, it could be a different 4th banner, or maybe there is no 4th banner this celebration. But yeah, enjoyed the story all pretty well. I would say it wasn't funny, but I mean it was very entertaining. I hope you guys enjoyed Slime Isekai Memories interview with Jaune. If you guys did, please make sure to follow me on all my social medias, like my Twitter, my Twitch, my YouTube, my DLab, my TikTok, my Kick, Rumble, Odyssey, and Dailymotion. Make sure to check out my second YouTube channel, and like and comment on all my videos, and even join my Discord. There you can stay up to date with everything I choose to, whether it's my streams, videos, or anything else. But yeah, I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!